Nice. That's it.
Last team on today's episode, Stanford Cardinal.
Yeah.
Over under here, 3.5. They went 3-9 last year. They beat Cal Poly. They had the weird upset over Syracuse, and then another weird upset at home over Louisville.
Can you build the whole plane out of weird upsets? Good question.
They're going to try.
Yeah.
They lost to everybody else, and most of them weren't close. Little did we know, Dan, the story was just getting started for Stanford. So the roster gets clobbered in the portal. Then after that, Troy Taylor gets dismissed in the spring because of an investigation into workplace complaints.
Yep.
Then the roster gets hit again, a second wave in the portal. Andrew Luck, who's now apparently running the shop.
Correct.
He names Frank Reich as the interim coach for 2025 while he looks for a permanent replacement. So this whole thing is an enormous reboot. One of the interesting stories for olds like us is that Andrew Luck is apparently in charge of this whole thing, which I don't hate. I don't know if he's any good at it. But at least he's a name that people in Stanford circles respect. Clearly was very successful in his time there. Am I losing my mind if I look at the situation with Frank Reich and I say, you could do a lot worse than that?
No, I don't think that you're losing your mind.
I kind of don't hate that situation. He was a highly respected NFL guy, kind of known as a quarterback whisperer. It sounds like he's going to steer into what they have, which is a good group of running backs, aligned with some experience, a good tight end in Sam Rouge. The receivers are unproven. The quarterback's unproven. But, we'll see more of the pro-style stuff.
It's Ben Gulbranson coming in from Oregon State, and they've got from
That's
Southern
a name
California.
I wasn't going to say. Ben Gulbranson. I can't believe he's still playing.
He's still there, yeah.
I think the quarterback is going to be Elijah Brown, who's the redshirt freshman.
Yeah. Went to Mater Dei. Yeah, he was a blue
Went to
chip
Mater
guy,
Dei.
yeah.
The number 11 quarterback in the same class as Lagway and Raiola.
He played a little bit last year, but wasn't ready.
Wasn't ready. They do have Dylan Rizek, who played for UCF down the stretch last season, in addition to Ben Gulbranson, who he might be older than us at this point.
Correct.
He's been around forever. So that's not a ideal situation. I don't hate Elijah Brown, though. I'm curious to see more of him. This is a defense that has a fair amount coming back from last season for as bad as it was.
It was terrible, yeah.
For as bad as it was, it actually got a little better.
Well, they brought in transfers, which is not like a normal thing for Stanford. I think it was 17 or 18 transfers came in, a lot of whom from Dartmouth, let's be clear.
A lot of whom from Dartmouth.
Yeah.
They lose David Bailey, their edge, Texas Tech, which hurts. But, if you look at the schedule, not a lot of proven quarterbacks on this thing, Dan.
No.
So I don't think Stanford's going to be good, but I'm going to stop short of calling it a total disaster given the circumstances, given the coach, given the fact that there's enough here to be reasonably dangerous in spots.
Yeah, 4-8, 5-7, best case scenario to me. Just because it's not that Frank Reich is a bad coach, but he has to convince this team, who is sort of in a gray area, and people have, given their pledges to see it through, at least for the short term. He's going to be gone. Yeah. You don't know who's going to be the coach. So you're in this sort of state of disarray at Stanford and uncertainty. And so Frank Reich has to go to this team and say, play your asses off. It's a hard sell. That's all.
I think he's good enough schematically to put guys in the right position. Is he a good enough motivator to use a very difficult situation and get this team to punch above its weight? That's, I think, the obvious question.
And you just need guys. You need
dudes.
ACC caliber players at every position, or high level ACC caliber players at every position. It took Jim Harbaugh years to sort of fill out that roster. The good news long term is Stanford is one of the handful of schools that very clearly sells itself. That Stanford can get high quality commitments. I think they have been, based on solely the fact that you get to go to Stanford. And that's a big deal.
I'm interested to see who he's able to reel in as a coach.
Same.
If this is truly a one-year thing for Frank, I don't know, maybe it goes off without a hitch and they end up keeping him, but I don't expect that's going to be the case. I'm curious to see, because Andrew Luck's a name.
Mm-hmm.
And if he's any good at this, in theory, Stanford's a cool place to be. So I don't know.
How much money does Chris Peterson want? How much money could he possibly want?
Do they have that kind of money?
Stanford? Well, as a school, of course.
Yeah, but for the football team.
Right. Yeah, I don't know.
Schedule's tough. And I should clarify when I say, won't be a disaster, could be good enough to be dangerous. They're over unders 4.5, 3.5. I'm not sure which 4 games they're winning.
Right.
Maybe at Hawaii, maybe UVA or San Jose State or Cal. There's not a lot on. There's not a lot on here that I feel good about.
San Jose State beat Stanford last year, did they not?
They did.
Yeah.
There are 5 teams on this slate that might be top 25 teams at the start of the year. So it's not an easy road for Stanford by any stretch. I think more what I am speaking to is, like I said, last year, a lot of these losses weren't particularly close.
No.
So can they at least be dangerous? Can they be competitive in some of these games once they figure out who's playing?
Yeah.
That's more what I am looking for this year, not so much in terms of wins and losses.
Yeah, I have 3 and 9.